call upon Allah, because when you sincerely call upon Him, miracles don't just happen, they begin. You see, sometimes all it takes is one heartfelt Ya Allah in the depth of the night to change what years of effort could not. That moment when your heart breaks in dua and your hands are raised in hope while your eyes are flooded with tears, know that the doors of the heavens are opening for you. That is not weakness. That is your soul finally connecting to the most powerful. Allah says in the Quran, call upon me, I will respond to you. Surah Ghafir 40 to 60. This is not a motivational quote. This is a divine promise. The one who created you is inviting you to speak to Him directly. He's not saying, call me and maybe I'll respond. Number, He is guaranteeing a response. But here's the secret. The response may not always be in the form you imagine it. It may come as strength, it may come as patience, it may come as protection from a greater harm you never saw coming. Every single one of us has moments in life where we feel helpless. We try everything we can, we knock on doors, we search for solutions, we seek help from people around us, but at times nothing seems to work. And in those moments when our strength fades and our options disappear, there remains one timeless and powerful act, raising your hands to the skies and calling upon your Maker. There is nothing more beautiful than a servant turning to their Creator with sincerity, acknowledging their weakness and pleading for guidance, mercy and assistance. When you raise your hands to Allah, you are not just performing a ritual, you are declaring your reliance upon Him. You are saying, oh Allah, I cannot do this without you. You are reminding your own heart that there is a Lord who hears, who sees, who knows and who cares. And the moment those hands rise with faith, the mercy of Allah begins to descend upon you. The unseen world starts to shift and things begin to move in your favor even if you do not see it yet. There are angels whose duty is to carry the du'as of the believers to the heavens. Your voice may be trembling, your words may be simple, but in the heavens, your dua is being honored and elevated. Do you think that the Lord of the worlds, the most merciful, the one who knows the pain you hide even from yourself, would turn away from your sincere request? Absolutely not. Allah loves it when you ask Him. The more you ask, the more He gives. Unlike human beings who become tired of your requests, your Creator becomes more pleased. Some of the scholars of the past would say that if a person knew how many blessings descended upon them, the moment they raised their hands in dua, they would never drop their hands again. Even before the answer comes, even before the hardship is removed, Allah begins to send tranquility into your heart. He calms your soul. He gives you the ability to carry on. That in itself is a form of mercy. That is the first wave of His response. Sometimes people say, I have been making dua for years and nothing has changed. But they forget that they have already changed. Their heart has become softer. Their faith has become stronger. Their connection with Allah has deepened. Is that not a miracle? Is that not a sign of Allah's mercy descending upon them? The Prophet of Allah went through years of difficulty. He raised his hands to the sky until his arms grew tired, until his cloak slipped off his shoulders, and yet he never doubted the mercy of his Lord. You and I are not being ignored. When we don't see the answer immediately, we must remember that Allah sees the entire picture while we only see a few small frames. Sometimes we ask for something and Allah in His mercy withholds it because He knows it is not the best for us right now. Imagine a child asking for something dangerous. The child is sincere, the child is crying, but the parent knows better. Allah's knowledge is infinite. He knows what the future holds. He knows what would have happened if He gave you what you asked for at that moment. So He withholds not out of rejection but out of love. It's important to understand that when you make dua, there are always three responses. Either Allah gives you exactly what you asked for, or He delays it because something better is coming at the right time, or He protects you from something harmful in its place, and all three are answers. None of them are rejections. Every sincere dua is accepted. This is a promise from Allah. But there is a condition. The heart must be connected. A dua made with a distracted heart, a tongue that simply repeats words without understanding or feeling, is not the same as a dua made with desperation, sincerity and full belief. When you call out to Allah, call with certainty that He is listening. Call with conviction that He can solve what no one else can solve. Call with humility, knowing you are a servant and He is the most generous. One of the most beautiful names of Allah is Al-Mujib, the one. who responds, not just the one who hears, but the one who actually responds. That means every time you call upon him, a response is on its way. It may not be in your timing, it may not be in the exact form you imagined, but rest assured it is better than what you expected. Allah does not disappoint a heart that trusts in him. Let us reflect on the stories of those who came before us. When Musa alayhi salam stood before the sea with an army behind him and nowhere to go, he called upon Allah with complete trust. The people around him said, "We are doomed." But Musa, in full conviction, said, "No, indeed, with me is my Lord. He will guide me." And what happened next was a miracle that has never been witnessed again in human history. The sea parted. But that miracle didn't begin with the sea, it began with the dua. When the mother of Maryam was unable to bear children, she called upon Allah. When Zakaria alayhi salam grew old and his hair turned grey, he still called upon Allah for a child. People may have mocked him, but he knew that if anyone could grant the impossible, it was his Creator. And his du'as were answered. So do not underestimate what a dua can do. It can change your life. It can open closed doors. It can soften the hearts of people who were once against you. It can bring you rizq from sources you never imagined. It can protect you from calamities that were destined to strike but were wiped away by your whisper in the middle of the night. The beauty of dua is that it does not require perfection. You don't have to know every verse. You don't have to be fluent. You don't have to be eloquent. You just have to be honest. Speak to Allah in your language, in your tone, in your moment of need. Sometimes the most powerful du'as are those made in silence, when the tears fall and the heart speaks directly to the Lord. And sometimes the acceptance of your dua is not seen in this world, but is stored for you in the next. On the day of judgment, when people see the mountains of reward waiting for them, they will ask, where did this come from? And it will be said, these are the answers to your du'as that were not fulfilled in the dunya, they were stored for you here in the akhirah. And in that moment, the believer will wish that not a single dua had been answered in this world. Let us also remember that making dua is not just about asking, it's about building a relationship with Allah. When you constantly make dua, you are constantly turning back to Him. You are acknowledging that you need Him, you are humbling yourself, and that humility is beloved to Allah. That act of turning back to Him again and again, even when you feel tired, even when you feel broken, that itself is a form of worship. There is something powerful that happens when you call upon Allah during your hardship. Your connection with Him grows stronger. You start to trust His plan. You stop panicking over what people say or do, because you know your matters are in the hands of the Most Wise. You stop chasing people for help, and instead you run to the one who controls everything. My brothers and sisters, sometimes the answer to your dua is right around the corner. The test is whether you will continue to make that dua with the same sincerity and faith as you did on the first day. Many people give up just before the breakthrough. They become impatient. They stop asking. Don't be from those who abandon dua right before their miracle. If there is one thing you must never give up in life, it's calling upon Allah. Even when you've sinned, even when you feel distant, even when you feel ashamed. Shaitan will try to convince you that you are not worthy of speaking to Allah. Don't listen to him. It is precisely in your moment of weakness that you need your Lord the most. Allah's door is open to everyone, no matter how far they've gone. You are not too sinful to make dua. You are not too broken to be heard. The Prophet taught us that Allah descends to the lowest heaven every night in the last third of the night and calls out, is there anyone who will call upon me so I may respond to them? Is there anyone who will ask me so I may give them? That is not a myth, that is reality. While the world sleeps, the Lord of the worlds is inviting you to speak with Him. Take that moment, speak to Him. Raise your hand 7 if your heart is tired, even if your tongue struggles. Just speak. And watch how your life begins to change, one silent dua at a time. Sometimes all it takes is one moment of sincere connection for your destiny to shift. One night of crying in sujood, one heartfelt plea under the stars, one whispered prayer in the car. That could be the turning point. That could be the moment Allah decides to open every door that was locked. Keep calling, keep believing. Because when you raise your hands to Allah, He lowers His mercy upon you. And when He does, there is nothing that can stop it. when life pushes you to your limits, when the burden on your chest feels too heavy to carry, and when the nights seem longer than ever, remember that the ground you place your forehead on in sujood is the most powerful place on earth for a believer. It is the place where your heart pours out in silence, where your soul finally finds its home, and where your eyes release the tears that words can no longer express. That one tear, my dear brothers and sisters, that one tear shed in sujood with full consciousness of your desperation and your hope in Allah has the power to change your entire destiny. Because you are not crying in front of people who may pity you, you are crying in front of the one who can fix what's broken, who can rewrite what's written, who can grant what seems impossible. The world teaches us to appear strong on the outside, to hide our tears, to put on a brave face even when we are falling apart. But our Deen teaches us that true strength is in recognizing our need for Allah. That strength is in knowing that we cannot walk this path alone, and that sometimes the most powerful moment in our lives is when we finally allow ourselves to break down, not in front of the world but in front of our Creator. Sujood is not just a position of prayer, it is the symbol of surrender, of humility and of hope. And when you combine sujood with a tear of sincerity, with a heart that is fully present, and with a soul that is yearning for closeness to Allah, you are not just making dua, you are shaking the heavens with your plea. One of the greatest secrets of healing lies in those silent moments of sujood, because in those moments you are completely disconnected from the world and fully connected to the one who controls it. You may not see the change immediately, but something begins to shift inside you. The pain begins to ease, the confusion begins to clear, the loneliness begins to fade. And it's not because the problem has disappeared, it's because your heart has been comforted by the one who never abandons his servants. Allah heals in ways no one else can. He heals silently, He heals slowly. And sometimes He heals without changing your circumstances, but by strengthening you so much that the pain no longer breaks you. There are wounds that no one knows about, emotional bruises, heartbreaks, disappointments, betrayals, things that you carry deep within you but never speak about. People see your smile, your words, your actions, but they don't see the nights you've cried, the sujood you've made in desperation, or the thoughts you've fought in silence. Yet Allah sees all of it. He knows the exact weight you're carrying, and He is never unaware. That is why even when no one else understands, you must never stop turning to Him. Because healing does not begin with people. It begins with Allah. When you are in sujood, you are at your closest to Him. And if you can just muster the courage to let go of your fears, your anger, your pain, and replace it with one single tear, that could be the moment your heart starts healing. Sometimes you don't even know what to say. You can't find the words. You just cry. And that's enough. That tear flowing in the darkness of the night while the world sleeps is not ignored. It is witnessed by the most merciful. It is preserved by the angels. It is written in your record as a moment of sincerity. And often that tear becomes the reason your life begins to change. We often look for solutions in people. We think if someone just listens to us, understands us, helps us, then maybe we'll feel better. But the truth is, people are limited. Even those who love you cannot truly feel what you're going through. They may care, but they cannot cure. Only Allah knows your heart completely. Only He can mend what has shattered. So instead of chasing people for comfort, fall in sujood and whisper your pain into the ground. Let your tears fall there, because the one who puts their pain in sujood is never left without relief. Allah tells us that He is closer to us than our jugular vein. That means He knows our inner battles before we even speak about them. So when you cry to Him, you're not informing Him, you're inviting His mercy. You're saying, Ya Allah, I cannot bear this without you. You're admitting your weakness. And that admission is not a failure, it's worship. It's a sign of your belief. It's a step toward healing. So many people walk around broken. They smile in public but cry at night. They achieve success but still feel empty. They surround themselves with friends but still feel alone. And the reason is that the heart was never made to be filled by the world. It was made to be filled by Allah. That's why even when everything around you seems perfect, if the connection with Allah is weak, your heart will still ache. And on the other hand, even when everything around you is falling apart, if your connection with Allah is strong, you will find peace. Peace is not in the absence of pain. Peace is in the presence of Allah. That's why the